The final JCPS student on a school bus for the first day of school today was dropped off 4.5 hours ago. No more extra late ride times home in the evening. It's a big improvement over the past few years. And it is our top story for you right now on the WHAS11 night team. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Doug Proffitt. JCPS Board Chairman Dr. Corey Scholl texted to WHAS11 News tonight saying the last student was dropped off at exactly 6:29 p.m. JCPS tells us by 6 p.m. there were still 13 buses on the road carrying 47 total students. At 6:23, only one bus was still on the road. Last year, the final drop-off time was 7 p.m. In 2023, the bus disaster, it was 10 o'clock. Scholl was with us live at 5 tonight, and he said it would be a much better year.
Our goal today is to have everyone home and every bus back at the compound between 6:45 and 7 p.m. We want to make sure that we have everyone home in a timely manner. And
that's pretty ambitious drop-off time because normally the first day of school.
It's not ambitious.
It's close to 8 o'clock.
Yeah, but we think that we're going to have an outstanding year this year, and so we're hoping to have the all clear by 7 p.m.
Well, he was right, and as we just reported, all students again dropped off at 6:29 p.m., one of the earliest final times on the first day back in the past few years. But it was a frightening start to this day for many students at bus stops located right at 10th and Chestnut, that intersection there. A person firing a gun a block away from Central High School and Coleridge-Taylor Elementary School. No one was hurt, and police don't believe students were the target. WHAS 11 night teams Clarice Shaley and Levi Hammer, our photojournalists, went back this afternoon where police were visible again.
It was just a crazy experience with it being the first day of school. You're not really expecting that.
Gunshots fired near 10th and West Chestnut, this bus stop location, on the first day back to school. Here are surveillance pictures from LMPD of the suspect holding a gun in the middle of the road, a block away from Central High School and Coleridge-Taylor Montessori School. I'm standing across the street from where surveillance pictures show the suspect was. This is a bus stop where I'm told elementary school students were getting on and heard 4 to 5 shots fired.
One child took off, ran home. She was just so shocked, I'm assuming. Her child is a little smaller. She was at school crying.
JCPS School Board Chairman Dr. Corey Scholl told us JCPS is working with LMPD to find out who did this.
It's unfortunate that this happened on the first day of school. I'm glad to report that we do not believe a student was involved in any way in this.
For the ride home hours later, parents pick up their once excited children to this scary news.
That's sad, because that's something that we're going to have to discuss with our kids when they get home. And that's not a discussion that you want to have with your child on the first day of school.
Officers returned for the bus drop-off too, in an effort to be a reassuring presence. Juanisha Saunders joins in that effort.
But just showing up and letting these kids know that this is not okay, and that somebody cares for them. If we continue to keep letting this go on and normalizing it, it's never going to stop.
But for some,
it's normal. So it's not something that really scares him. It's just a way of life.
It's already normal to students.
Because it happens so much in this neighborhood, it's not as much of an alarm for the kids. They're just becoming used to it.
Parents glad to see officers back at the scene and want to see more of it.
Police in the neighborhoods getting to know people so that the community can feel comfortable coming and telling you, hey, I know who the shooter was.
Students and parents left with a frightening first day and a hope for a better tomorrow. On West Chestnut Street, Clarice Shaley, WHAS 11 night team on your side.
LMPD says officers will be returning to 10th and Chestnut Streets again tomorrow morning. And they're making headway on the investigation, we were told today, but they are still asking for tips. Again, here are those surveillance photos of the suspect about 8 a.m. this morning. You're asked to report information to the anonymous tip line 574-LMPD. You can also use their online portal. Police are investigating after a 4-year-old was shot in West Louisville. According to LMPD, it happened this morning at about 11:40 a.m. in the 2700 block of Garland Avenue. Police were called after the child was taken to the hospital by private means and transferred over to Norton Children's. The child was alert and conscious while being transferred. Police tried to figure out what led to the shooting. Anyone who has information for detectives should call 574-LMPD. We've been following the first day back to school since our Good Morning Kentuckiana newscast this morning. Late today, we've been checking again on those carpool lines. You know, with fewer buses for fewer students, those long lines of cars became the big story right here last year. WHAS 11 Night Team's Jose Alonso and photojournalist Aspen Hester visited 2 JCPS schools at pickup this afternoon to see if parents are waiting and waiting.
The smiles and warm hellos from students showcase a vibrant first day back in school.
I got to meet a little new people. Some of my classmates from kindergarten and first grade were still listening.
But before class was dismissed, the well-known traffic nightmare around Audubon Traditional Elementary already began.
It's to be expected since it's the first day, but I just feel like it's going to be better than last year. Again, living back here, it was not great last year, but after today, I feel like we'll get it together.
As you can see, there's a long line of parents along Hess Lane ready to pick up their child from Audubon Elementary School. And we spoke to one mom who says this is a better pattern ever since the school added an extra traffic lane.
So last year was kind of rough in the beginning, with the buses not being available for traditional schools. It really created a backup, but Audubon's response to that has been great. And that third lane, I'm really excited to see what it's going to do.
Another known spot for traffic, No Middle School, where some parents waited just under an hour.
What time is it now? Oh, so about maybe 40 minutes or 45 minutes.
Yeah, but
in their range.
Yeah, but like part of that's my fault though.
Yeah, he was on the other side. He had to come back and meet us here.
But the line moved quickly. One mom had a shorter trip.
So my husband dropped her off and I'm picking her up. I think it took me around 15 minutes in the line. Not that bad that we were expecting for the first day.
But what's most important is the kids had a great start.
I had a little mix-up with my schedule, but other than that, all my classes went really well.
Seeing my friends got me a little less worried about the first day.
JCPS families are getting back into the flow of a new school year. In Louisville, Jose Alonso, WHAS 11 Night Team on your side.
Well, JCPS Chief Operations Officer Rob Folk says they knew some car rider lines were backed up today, but there were no huge disturbances. And they plan to keep working through their list of known traffic issues within the next few weeks. Well, JCPS is greatly expanding that very important phone line. If you have any questions and concerns about bus transportation or any other issues, you will talk to a real live person starting early in the morning. JCPS staff members are manning the hotline again tomorrow, Friday morning from 6 a.m. until 7 at night. And those hours could be adjusted depending on the number of calls they actually receive. Again, the number to call is 485-RIDE. That translates to 485-7433. All new right now since 6, Sally Bingham has died at the age of 88. The Bingham family was considered Louisville royalty. They owned WHAS TV 11, WHAS Radio, the Courier-Journal, and Standard Reviewer. Sally criticized her family's management of the companies, and then they took her off the board. She then pushed for a sale of her shares. Instead, her father sold it all in 1986 for $434 million. Sally created the Kentucky Foundation for Women. She was a writer and philanthropist. She died at her home of a stroke, according to the New York Times today. She told the Kentucky Lantern last year that she was unfairly blamed for the sale of the Bingham media empire. Emily Bingham, Sally Bingham's niece and the daughter of Barry Bingham Jr., texted me this note tonight saying Sally and Barry met before he died in 2006. They spent a long afternoon together, ending with forgiveness on both sides. This time they shared and carried to the end of their respective lives sheds a perhaps unexpected shaft of light on Sally Bingham as we honor and remember her today. That note from Emily Bingham tonight. We have more local news for you here on the Night Team. New tonight, Mayor Craig Greenberg announcing 7 people have been arrested in connection with copper wire thefts. This has been an ongoing issue causing damage to our lights on the interstates, and communications networks in Louisville been knocked out. An investigation was led by a special task force and Louisville's Metro Alcoholic Beverage Control. A tip was shared from a local scrapyard. They reported individuals selling suspicious burnt wires. And this wire was later confirmed to be part of Louisville's network. Out of the 7 arrested, 3 of them stole copper wire from a Trimark sign in 2023. The entire operation may be connected to other thefts along our highways. The Zone 2 Fire Protection District in North Bullitt County wants to add an ambulance service. The chief saying because of population growth, he believes Bullitt County EMS needs the assistance. The fire district plans to levy a new tax of 10 cents per $100. This would allow them to hire 18 new positions to staff the ambulances. The chief says hiring might be an issue.
I'm not sure with the EMS folks. I could tell you fire agencies are having problems trying to get people, so we're hoping we're not. I know that there's already several people that have reached out to me via emails and through social media, so it's trying to find the right people.
Zonson wants to staff 2 ambulances with paramedics and EMTs. The chief says the tax rate will go down after about 4 years. The fire board still has not yet approved the tax increase. Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell and President Donald Trump have been at odds more than once during the president's second term, as you know. But Mitch McConnell praised him today during a stop in Louisville at the Pendennis Club. He's been a longtime supporter of giving Ukraine weapons and money in its war against Russia since the war began in 2022. McConnell saying Trump may be figuring this out and pointed to recent policy decisions related to Iran and Ukraine.
Dropping the bomb on Iran was the right thing to do. We left at least one of those facilities in a pile of rocks. That's a good way to send a message. And number 2, he's re-engaged trying to help Ukraine. Haven't given up hope that he's going to get into a better place.
On Wednesday, President Donald Trump said he would impose very severe tariffs on Russia if Vladimir Putin didn't end the war by Friday. Well, President Trump is expected to meet with Vladimir Putin as early as next week. A location, though, has not yet been set. It comes after U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff's meeting with Putin to discuss steps toward a ceasefire with Ukraine. And an opportunity for Russia to try and avoid additional sanctions the U.S. has threatened to impose again on Friday. If there isn't progress in ceasefire talks, Ukraine Zelensky praised the move, saying the only way Russia will make peace is if they run out of money. President Trump is hoping to also meet with Zelensky after his meeting with Putin.